All right, it's 2023. Conrad, do you have any New Year? What do you think about New Year's resolutions? You got New Year's resolutions?
I think New Year's resolutions are super important. This is the time, especially for business. You can call it a New Year's resolution or you can call it a strategic annual plan, but knowing where you want to go, it's great. It's great for businesses. It's great for you personally. I think they're great. I really do like New Year's resolutions, and I actually write mine down and keep them in my wallet, and I replace it every year.
Well, I'm inspired. I came in, as I promised, to be a little more cynical this year, and I was a little cynical on the whole resolutions thing. I like to think of it more as habit forming, but certainly reflecting and planning, very, very important. But for the sake of this episode, let's talk resolutions. Conrad, do you have any personal New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, this is middle-aged man New Year's resolution number 1. I'm going to do one needed project on my house a month, right? And it goes for everything from replacing drywall to, my greenhouse needs a new floor, and I'm going to do those things. So, but one a month, right? And so it's manageable. And I've got a list of 12 things that I need to do to my house over the next year sitting in my wallet, and that's going to happen.
That is ambitious.
How is that for mundane?
Well, mine's even more mundane because I feel like this is one of those resolutions that just floats around the internet. I'm trying to do a book a week, 52 books in 23. And this goes to the point about resolutions. I had this resolution last year. I came up short, but now I want to get closer. So I think I was finished with like 20 some books last year, so about half. So double up, put it on the board, 52 books, book a week, and check in. And by the way, listeners, if you have resolutions, hashtag LHL Owns. We'd love to hear your resolutions for the year. Conrad, what other resolutions do you have for our listeners?
Okay, so in our show notes, we've added, we wanted to make this tactical for you. And so we have made one New Year's resolution on behalf of our listeners. This is basically us telling you what we think your New Year's resolution should be for 2023. I think you should, and this goes thematically into everything that we've talked about during this show, I think you should commit to and explore and evaluate one non-Google marketing channel for your firm throughout the entire year, right? So it's not a flash in the pan. It's not, we're going to look at this for 6 weeks and see how it works. I am going to commit to doing something outside of the typical spend more money on pay-per-click or fight the SEO wars or fake my locations on Google My Business. Something outside of those boxes to market your firm. And I want you to commit to it for a year because it's most of the things where there's opportunity, it takes a year, right? And so that would be I'm imploring you, beseeching you, requesting, recommending that you try something like that. Guy, what about yourself? What do you think listeners should be doing?
Well, same theme. I gave mine away earlier as well, but I'm going to suggest that you do one short video on social media per day. Just short, one a day. You can batch it, right? You want to do an hour of recording and dice them up so that you're releasing one a day. I think that can work. But one social media post per day. Pick your favorite social media platform if you only want to do one. Otherwise, I would think LinkedIn. I'm still on the fence about this going all in on TikTok because of some of the privacy stuff. But one social media post a day, real short, share something you learned, make a connection with somebody, share something that you're doing at your practice. I can't tell you how valuable it is in terms of staying top of mind, building demand for your services, and driving engagement. And you'll see, it takes time. As Conrad mentioned, some of this stuff too, it does take a little time. But if you do it, if you're consistent with it, you'll start to see it grow.
2023 might be the year of flywheel marketing, where you guys got to how's that for a nice title for this show? Let me ask you a question, a clarifying question. You talked about posting one a day. Could that also include commenting, connecting with, or reaching out to someone? Or is it the post side of this?
Yeah, I agree. So definitely you should be. In fact, you should be commenting and engaging more than you're actually posting. But I think there's a reticence to there. It's to me again. It goes back to the same thing. It's the habit. get in the habit of having something going out once a day, because you get busy, you're in trial, you're in court, you've got a million other things. Some of you are raising kids and trying to run a law firm and a million other things, finding time for yourself. Commit to one thing a day. And if you're going to prioritize something, I say short form social video. You don't have to write a blog post. You don't have to do some kind of fancy automation. One short video post a day, top of mind awareness, engagement, affinity. No better way to drive affinity than through video. And it takes some practice and it's going to take some time, but that's what I would start. Those are the seeds I'd be planting if you haven't done so already.
Okay.
And Conrad, what are your resolutions for Lunch Hour Legal Marketing in 23?
I would like, and this is a deliberately fuzzy goal for the podcast. I would like to see us increase the frequency of our content. And as we were talking about this prior to the show, we could move from a once every other week to once a week. That's certainly a way to do that as a podcast. But we've also already taken steps to increase the frequency with which content is published by moving beyond the podcast format, right? And so more stuff coming out of us on YouTube, TikTok, wherever else that may work for us. And it thematically goes to everything that I've been talking about for lawyers, right? So building content, repurposing it, reformatting it. I think there's an opportunity for us to increase frequency for the show, not just by going from twice a month to 4 times a month, but to actually change it up so we're publishing out on more different platforms, right? And it's the same thing we've been telling you guys to do for your law firm for the podcast.
I like yours better than mine.
Why?
Yours
is a better
boring
goal. You have a smarter
podcast stat metric, which is subscriber growth. I'm very grateful to all of our listeners and subscribers. We grew the show by 13% this year. Let's go for 20% in 23. We should go for 23%. 23% in 23.
Wow.
There it is on the board. You can hold us accountable. If we don't do that, you can hashtag us that we failed. See, more cynicism.
Brought to you by Guy Taklakis.
Yes.
Money makes a, it makes a world go round.